Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. My name's Perry Phillips. I go ahead by Podhead Picker on Instagram. If you are a fan of the show, like, subscribe, tell your friends, spread the word to all your disciples. Or would it be my disciples? I don't know. Anyway, hope everybody's having a great reselling week. I honestly don't care if you are. Sorry. I hope you are, but it's not going to affect me either way if you are or you aren't. I don't know why I keep saying it. So yeah, we finished up the estate sale for my wife's family. So I think the last time I did the podcast, we had done the sale, but then we did like a free day. And so we did that Sunday, this past Sunday of 4th of July weekend. Shout out to 4th of July. That was fun. We had a good day. So, yeah. We advertised it as mostly everything free. And I had told my wife, that we could ask for donations, blah, 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 blah. And then that morning there was a sale that popped up and they had pictures of Legos, like a ton of Lego stuff. So I was like, all right, we'll shoot over to there real quick because it was like 18 minutes or so away. I was like, and then we'll go back to the sale. So we get over to the moving sale. They're not open, like completely closed. It's one of those sales that like they just have to open the garage. And so I should have just left it at that and just not gone back. But we went back to the house for the free thing. And my wife was like, oh, well, you can go back. I told her to go back to the deal with the Legos, but she didn't want to. She wanted to stay and deal with the house. So I was like, all right. And I should have just left the Legos alone because I went back and I could see people leaving empty-handed. And they were all look like, we was like 20 minutes after the sale. And the Legos weren't advertised. They were just, you could see them in the back of a picture. Like, they looked like they were part of the sale. And so I walked in and I started walking to the Legos and the guy immediately goes, oh, those aren't for sale. Like, none of them are for sale? Like, none of them were for sale. He's just had them out, like, laid out in the picture. So that's why I think people were leaving pissed off. So I got a little snarky because it's not my neighborhood. I don't give a shit. I'm never going to see this guy again. So I was just like, oh, that's why I came. Yeah, because usually when you put something in a picture, and advertise it or whatever, people are going to show up for that thing. And so, yeah, I got a little bitchy with him. But what are you going to do? You know what I mean? I wanted to rip his sign down. I've always wanted to just rip somebody's sign down, like right in front of their face. But I'd be too afraid because then you got to walk to your car and like drive by. But I've thought about taking people's signs down. Never done it though. I should focus my energy on the greater good of taking signs down and taking them down, bringing them to the people who leave them up late. Man, I followed a sign the other day. It was a yard sale sign, and they wrote it really small. I couldn't really read what it said, but it sounded like it was at like a drive-in movie theater, like. So I thought it was like going to be a big yard sale, you know what I mean? And I got there, and it was a little, like an empanada stand or something like that. I forget, tamales maybe. I forget. It was some type of Mexican food. And yeah, I completely luckily it wasn't it was probably like 3 minutes out of the way. And so I went over there to check it out, and it was a fucking food stand. I'm like, you gotta be fucking shitting me. So that was not my favorite use of bright pink, like neon pink paper, like the yard sale sign paper. That wasn't my favorite use of it. Not at all. But yeah, anyway. So I don't even remember how I got on the subject of the pink paper. Just driving around, I don't know. So yeah, that pissed me off on the estate sale day. So then I went back and like my wife was like, yeah, people were taking a bunch of stuff. So a lot of stuff was going. That's what we wanted. They wanted to get the stuff out of the house. But But she was like, yeah, people were asking me how much, and I just was telling them free. I'm like, well, remember I told you donations? And she's like, oh, I didn't even think about that. So, whatever. I don't think we would have made that much more money, you know what I mean? If people are coming for free shit, and especially if you're coming for like free antique shit, like shit that they had, I mean, they might have like, I don't know. Some people might have dropped. It was maybe like $100 we missed out on. I'd say probably at the most. Nothing crazy. But what are you going to do? She's learning, I wanted to leave her by herself anyway because I'm trying to get her into, doing the business thing so she can eventually help me with it and just, maybe work less and then do this more. But she wants to help. I don't know if you have a significant other or somebody that wants to help with the eBay business or whatever you want to call it. I do more than just eBay, so reselling, I don't know. Whenever you have that, they want to help. But like, I don't know. I talked to a buddy and his wife wants to help too, and he's like, yeah, well, if I have to coach through it, like, what's the point? You know what I mean? It's like if I have to teach you how to do it. So I just have this fantasy that like one day my wife's gonna walk in and she's gonna be like, hey, I figured out, I watched a YouTube video. I'll be like, whoa, this woman never watches YouTube videos. I mean, she does, but she's never just like, hey, check this video out, like to, figure out how to do some shit. Or, yeah. So if she came in, she was like, hey, I watched a YouTube video on how to take pictures, and now I want to take pictures of your eBay stuff. I'd be like, perfect. But if she comes in, she's like, hey, can I help you? I'm like, yeah, I'm taking pictures of stuff. She's like, okay. And she tries to take pictures. She doesn't know how I take pictures. So I do have to teach her a little bit. But basics, you got to know how to do this shit before you start helping a little bit. Have a general knowledge. I don't know. But yeah, that's just me. So, but yeah, so a lot of the stuff cleared out a lot of stuff. This guy who had come the first weekend of the sale, he was this old guy. He's like an old Polish guy. So he came by again and he was all pumped. My wife hadn't met him before. He was a character. So he was all happy. He got like a leaf blower and a picture frame or something. So, yeah, it was a success. And then follow up. So this was pretty crazy. So this woman sent me a message, and she was like, hey, she was asking about one of the couches or whatever. And then she was like, oh, hey, sorry, I don't think the couch is going to be the right size, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And she said, kind of random, like, I was interested in your friend, Jameson. So, Jameson's been on the podcast. And so she's like, I'm interested in your friend Jameson. I wish I had got his number. I forget what she said. I could look it up. Let me look it up so I can tell you the accurate thing. But it was, I was like, damn. And I had said to him too, I thought it was funny because I'd said to him, like, hey, so she said, this is random and silly, but I stopped by a few weekends ago and your friend Jameson helped me. I don't know if this is stupid, but I wish I had asked for his number. If he's available and interested, that'd be cool. If not, no worries. So, yeah. But I just reread that. Am I supposed to give her his number? I passed on her information. I'm going to give her his number. So this lady had these consoles available, and she was kind of spastic, and like people like that on Facebook I just like stop responding to because sometimes you have to. Like, I understand sometimes not responding to a person, but if you're just like genuinely asking a question or something, but like if you're just like spastic and your prices are crazy, like if you don't put your prices in your ad and then I ask you a price and your price is like wildly unrealistic, then I just stopped talking to you because I'm like, you have no fucking idea what you're doing. Like, so this lady had these video games for sale, and she was like, yeah, this fell through. So I asked about it. She's like, yeah, this one's sold, and this one's still available. So I didn't reply, and I was like, okay. Because, like, you don't need to fucking reply to everything. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, like, I didn't say, hey, let's do it. I was just like, yeah, what are the prices on these? Like, you know, and I'm like, oh, those prices are terrible. I don't need to reply to you. Yeah, it's rude, a little bit rude, but sometimes it's necessary. If you're like, you know, completely wildly unrealistic, it's kind of necessary. But anyway, so I was just talking about something completely different, and then for some reason I just jumped into this. But anyway, I just saw the lady. She keeps messaging me, just being like, "Yeah, the other buyer fell through. Like, are you interested in this?" I'm like, "I never said I was interested. I asked you what the fucking price was because you didn't put a price. Like, and I don't like the price. Assume I don't like the price. I don't need to waste more time. Put your price in your fucking ad, and then I wouldn't have to waste the time to ask you." Anyway, back to the Jameson thing. So I hope he doesn't mind me talking about this. I'll ask him before I put this out. But anyway. So, yeah, so she asked for his number, and I remember she was pretty cute. She seemed like she might have been a little intense, but it's, you know, if she was out yard sailing all day, and that's like the type of person she is at yard sales, by the end of the day, you get a little, you know. So, it is what it is. I just barely remember, you know, she was getting some cooler shit, so I remember commenting on her shit. Because, yeah, there was some cool vintage shit in that house. But anyway, so, yeah, so hopefully that works out for one or two of them. I don't know. It's not really any of my business. I just thought it was funny because I told Jameson before we went, I was like, hey, what if you meet, like, a girl or something while we're doing this? And we didn't think it would happen, but hey, you know, some yard sale romance, maybe estate sale romance, when there's just, you know, when death's looming and there's just piles of junk everywhere. That's where the magic happens, baby. That's where that's where shit. So the whole weekend this was before we even like, I just completely remembered this. I'm glad that I just remembered this. So the entire weekend we were joking too. Oh, I was joking. He was just kind of a victim to my jokes because he was stuck with me. But I was saying like that there should be a lane of yard sale porn, and I don't know if I brought this up or not, but last week, but so yeah, it was just funny. Like we're talking about yard sale porn, and he's like, "Kid, this is like a fantasy of yours," and I'm just like, "No." I was kidding because I kept saying putting everything into like scenarios of like yard sales as a joke, you know what I mean? Because that's what we were doing, blah blah blah. Anyway, I don't need to explain our whole conversation to you, but it was just kind of funny. We're talking about that, and then here's like, it's not not a porno situation, but like, you know, it was just kind of wild. I just remembered that we were joking about like yard sale porn, and then, you know, I'll stop talking. I'm sorry. Man, let me take a sip of water. So, my house is like completely a mess. I got a ton of shit all at one time. It was like, you know, I got a pile of stuff from my vintage clothing guy that I did the trade. So I posted that Patagonia that I think I talked about last week or the week before. Went to that estate sale and I found that Patagonia hat. And it was, hold on a second. And so, yeah, that Patagonia hat, I posted it on my Instagram, and my vintage clothing guy hit me up and said he was interested in it. So I put it to the side because I had a bag of stuff that he had said he wanted. And then I also had like another pile of clothes that he was going to look through. And so the fuck? Oh yeah. So he came by. He saves video games for me, so like that's why it's good to network. I know I don't usually try to like lecture you on how to run a business and do any of that because I'm barely doing that successfully myself. Um, but I will tell you that it's having like connections comes in key. So like this dude works at a thrift store. He volunteers at a thrift store. And so any video games that go through that thrift store basically go to me. So he always comes in with stacks of games, like, and I mean it's not always crazy good, you know what I mean? It's nothing, But this time because he was trading for the hat, he had to come with some heat. So he got some good ones. There's actually X-Men's Origins Wolverine for Xbox 360. I had never seen that game, but I guess it's like a $70-$80 game. I'll probably list it for like 65 and hopefully sell it quickly. But yeah, I'd never seen that one, so I looked that one up and was pleasantly surprised. And I still have a tub full left to go through, so I've just been organizing them. That's what I was gonna do today instead. So basically here neglecting my death pile. I've actually been pretty good. What I've been doing, so typically in the morning, I will lay in bed and list, which is like, kind of necessary. So now I'm doing like a couple days a week. Instead of laying there listing, I'm getting up before the kids get up and going up downstairs to work on, taking pictures and shit. And I don't know if I said this, but my light's fucked up. I need to order a cord, but I don't know if it's just the cord or if I need a whole new light. It's the newer ring, the NEWEER ring. The light, and I feel like I need that light back. I've got like these G.I. Joes that I want to list. I want to take nice, crisp pictures of them. So after this, I'm going to order that cord, and hope that fixes it. And if not, I'm going to return that shit. So yeah. But just got a ton of stuff. So linking up with him, he came through and gave me a bunch of shit to go through. So I still got to go through some of the rares. And then there was a yard sale. I don't know if I talked about this or not. I had to have talked about this no, I didn't talk about it because it was after. So I think this was last weekend. Yeah, I think it was 4th of July weekend maybe. I don't fucking remember. But I went and got like 4 trash bags of toys. There was NECA toys in there. There was a bunch of wrestlers. There was like elite ones, just a bunch. So I listed those as a lot. A bunch of rubber duckies, which they look like they sell okay on eBay. I mean, I'm not gonna get it. Like I might get 15 to 20 for them, but still, it was a free. There was a bunch of plush, like Mario plush. So I got to get those listed. Then there was some tech decks in there. So that's like, I haven't gone through. I started going through them. I didn't realize how many there were. That's just a DeWalt, like a tool bin, but it's a big tool bin, and it's just filled with a tech deck. There's a few Hot Wheels ones, which I kind of looked those up, and those don't look like they have a ton of value. So those I'll probably just throw in a lot. But yeah, there's a ton of them. I didn't realize how profitable that would probably be. I looked up, there was like a set of 3 of them that goes for $50 around, give or take. And then there was a bunch more. So they're all in like pristine condition. This kid, it was some kid's collection. Like this kid's going to be pissed at his parents in a few years. This is what I did. My mom didn't really have anything to do with my collection going, but this dude was just giving his kids shit away. It's like legit 3 trash bags of fucking toys. And so yeah, there was like a bunch of tech deck. What else did I get? There's just a bunch of shit, like a ton of shit. So got that. Then I got the stuff out of that storage unit, which update on the rat horde. I sold some of the tools, all of the tools rather. So all those tools that I got from there, I sold in one lot for $175. So paid $10 for the unit, took 10 years off my life, and made $175. $5 cash. But yeah, that happened. And then I sold like one other thing for $50 right away. I forget what it was. There was a speaker for 25, and then an air fryer. Ugh. I wiped it down, but I mean, I would run that thing a few times. That shit's got to be gross. But yeah, you're buying an air fryer from a storage unit. Like, come on, that's a little bit. So hopefully she cleans it, and you never want to say that though. You know, be like, hey, clean that good. Like, but nobody could imagine the fucking place that I found that shit. But like I said, I wiped everything down as best I could with a bunch of alcohol and just rubbed it down. So, but the tools went to like a young kid who's starting like a business up. So that's perfect for what they need. I mean, all those, they're throwing all the boxes away on those. So those are fine. It is what it is. A nasty ass storage unit still fucking haunting me weeks later. But yeah, I'm glad I made a little bit of money, in all seriousness, because that would have sucked if I went into that unit and just didn't make any money. I still have a bunch of gold from that. And then I bought some costume jewelry. So then I got some wrestling magazines. I went out on Sunday because we were out of town on Friday, Saturday, and I got these wrestling magazines. So I got those all sorted and listed. I had a guy who was interested in coming to look, and he just kind of forgot, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't really worried about it because I didn't really want to have to meet and make a deal. And so I was like, I'll just get them listed and go. You know what I mean? I hate having to wait on people. So I was just like, whatever. Get it listed. Get it up there. Now I'm just babbling. So, summer, man. It is hot as fuck. Holy shit, it's hot. I went to a family gathering the other day for my wife's family, and we just sat in the sun, and it was so hot. Of course, it didn't affect my kids, so I had to chase them around. I was like, can't you just come stand in the shade? And they just wanted to be, like, running in the heat of the sun. And it's humid, too. It's New England. It gets humid as fuck. It's not bad when it's just hot. But when it's like humid and hot, it's fucking gross. Today's pretty hot. We stayed inside this morning. The kids didn't really seem like they wanted to go outside, and I was working on shit. So I'm like, all right, guess we're not going outside today. And so, yeah. I'm trying to think. I got more shit. Didn't I? What other shit did I get? Hold on. Let me get... Oh, yeah. I was in the middle of updating on, like, the rat horde. Man, I gotta tell you. I'm at a loss for words right now. All right, give me a second here. Hold on. Let me take a minute. All right, I'm back. I don't know what the fuck just happened. My brain. I just no, nothing happened. I lost my train of thought for a second and just could not. I was just gonna sit there like a fucking idiot for another couple minutes. So I just had to stop for a minute and regather myself and put a couple things down. I honestly wasn't prepared to do a podcast today because I just don't. I have other stuff I need to do. And so I kind of did it like last minute. I was kind of like on and off whether I was going to do a podcast or not. And I was like, fuck it, I'll just do it. And, you never know what you're going to get. It's a fucking solo podcast. It's I'm still not great at it. I'm just working on it. I still say like every 2 seconds and stay fucking shit and stuff too much. But anyway, we're growing together. So, yeah. Let me fucking go back. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get my notes that I just wrote to make this easier for me. And oh yeah, so I remember how to segue into I didn't know how to like get into this, but I'm just gonna get into it. I'm gonna say if you're a parent and you've seen the show or I don't know if it's a show or the guy Blippi, man, what the fuck is wrong with Blippi? I like we never watch it. My daughter's never really been into it, and it's always been like kind of weird. Like Miss Rachel, I get it. She's a teacher, she's pretending with the kids. But like, what the fuck is Blippi's deal? Is he special needs? Is he like a man child? Like, is he supposed to be? Are we supposed to just suspend our beliefs of what? I don't even know what the fuck I'm trying to say. But are we supposed to like pretend that we're not seeing a grown man acting like a child? It's not like acting like a child, like oh, he's like having a temper tantrum, but like he legitimately acts like a little kid, like talks like a little kid, but it's a grown man. And he doesn't really like, he's not like, hey guys, let's learn, like, let me explain this shit to you. Like Miss Rachel's like, hey, like this is how you do this shit. Yeah, say what you want about Jules, you know what I mean? Jules, I love Jules. Jules' songs are pretty dope. But Blippi, man, what the fuck is up with that guy? If you've got kids and don't just put it on when your kids are around, because then they might like it, and then you're stuck watching it. But yeah, just check out Blippi if you're like, even if you're just curious. I can't figure out what the fuck is going on. Like, we watched one the other day where he went to like an indoor playground, and then my kid's like, I want to go to the indoor playground. And so we went to the indoor playground yesterday because it was her birthday. We were planning on doing something anyway. So it was like, all right, she just gave us the idea of what she wants to do. But like this dude goes to an indoor playground and he's not even like he's just kind of playing with stuff. And I'm just like, what is happening right now? Not even in like a weird way. You know what I mean? Like it's weird, but I'm not talking about like in like a, in that way, but like in just like a generally weird way. Like, just why is this dude a man child baby? Why does he talk like that? Why is he dressed like that? Like, I get the outfit, but yeah, they don't ever explain it. I think we started from the first episode. And that was the indoor playground one, I think, might be the first episode. I don't know if he came from the internet. He looks like somebody who might have been on the internet. But man, like even, some of the other like grown men that do kid stuff. Like, let's look at some of them. Like Raffi. I mean, come on. Raffi's one of the greats. Steve from Blue's Clues. Who else? The Wiggles. Like, there's like some legit, like, men that do kid stuff. But I don't know what the fuck is up with Blippi. Like, if you can tell me what is wrong with Blippi. Even the name Blippi, like, I just don't get it. I've spent way too much time talking about Blippi. I had a brain fart that segued into Blippi. This is what the podcast has become. I mean, if you're still listening at this point, thank you. Thank you. Would you pay for a Patreon if I did a Patreon? I watched my first Whatnot auction. It was pretty chaotic, not going to lie. But I'm pretty good at, like, chaotic shit. But it was a big one. It was somebody I follow on Instagram. It was like some storage locker thing. I can't remember what the name of it was. There's a couple of them. But it was pretty crazy. They did like a whole, they had a ton of shit and they like went through it, boom, 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 boom. But they were doing like sudden death. It was like 10 seconds. So people had like 10 seconds to bid. But it was pretty crazy. I want to eventually do Whatnot for a few things that we have just a ton of, like smaller stuff that we just need to clear out, like action figure accessories and shit like that. Obscure shit. I also have Lego minifigures. That would be fun to do Lego minifigures on Whatnot. I don't think any of them are crazy valuable, but there's a lot of them. A lot. And we completed a bunch of them and put them like into little. Well, I don't know if we put them in bags. We need to, but yeah, a lot. Oh yeah, so I went to. So there was that one free clean out that the guy did with the kids stuff. And then last week I was on my way. Somebody was having a random yard sale in the middle of the week. And so I asked if she had video games. So she had some decent video games. Like, it wasn't really worth the drive, but I was like, there's nothing really to do. We'll see if there's anything out there for me to do with the kids. And we ended up finding a playground in a creek where we threw rocks into the creek and shit. It was hella fun. And so my daughter freaked out and ran into the parking lot. And I had to like chase her down while carrying her sister. Oh man. Whew. That shit got me hella mad. You don't fucking run into a fucking parking lot. She knows that shit. Anyway. So I went to go meet this lady, and there was a few PS2 games that she had. One of them was like Scarface, was probably the best one. And that's like a 30 to 40. This one's probably like $40 because it's got everything. It's completely complete, like minty. But then there was a copy of State of Emergency, so I was like, I'll grab that because I wanted that for myself. It's not like the most valuable game, but you don't see it all the time of the like the Rockstar games. And so I try to keep the Rockstar games. I've got Manhunt. I need Manhunt 2. I haven't seen that one. And so yeah, that one I'm gonna keep. But then I was on my way there. There was people were doing like a free clean out, basically what we were doing with my wife's grandma. And so they were like, yeah, you can go in the house. I asked if they had clothes, so they let me in. I got a bunch of clothes that I just ended up giving to my vintage clothes guy. There was like a cool karate gi. It had the U.S. flag and shit, and then like the Japanese flag, so it was pretty dope from back in the day. And then so I got some clothes, and then I got some Department 56. There was a ton of Department 56. Well, it wasn't all Department 56, but it was like all Christmas Village stuff. And I asked if it was all up for grabs, and she was like, oh, well, somebody's coming to look at it, so you can take a few, but they don't actually know what they're coming to look at, but you can take a few, just leave them some. So I should have taken more than I did, but whatever. I wasn't trying to be greedy, and I didn't need a ton of it, so I just grabbed 3 of the bigger ones because I know the bigger ones are, decent money. So I'll probably put a lot of the 3 online, and I've had the good luck on Marketplace selling them as a lot. And then hopefully somebody comes and picks them up. But I got those for free, and then if they had a box. I kept finding like not military shit, but American Legion. So it was like pins, and so then there was a box of stuff, and I was like, are you sure all this stuff is up for free? And I was like, even this box with all these pins? And she was like, yeah, you can take it, blah, blah, blah. So I took it. And then I had my car loaded up. I was getting ready to leave. And as I was getting ready to leave, the brother came. It was like her brother, I guess. I guess their dad had passed away. And so he was like, did not seem happy that she was doing what she was doing. And so he's like, I didn't even get a chance to go through stuff, blah, 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 blah. And so at that point, I had forgot that I even got the box of those things. But like, it wasn't anything that I think they would have even wanted. It wasn't anything like it wasn't anything I think that they would even want. You know what I mean? It was like, it was so much. It was so many pins. It wasn't even like personal pins. It was just like pins that he had collected from conventions. And so I was just like, I completely forgot about it. And then when I got back, I saw it, and I was like, I wonder if they would even want this. But it didn't. They seemed like they wanted to get rid of everything. The son was just kind of being a little bitch. But I asked her before I took it, gotta ask. So, but there was a couple pins in there that like, I looked a few of them up. I was just I kind of sorted through them, and it was like the pins go for like $60, $70. And then some of the other things you could kind of lot together and sell them. So I kind of separated them this morning. There was like a police badge in there too. That was pretty cool. I might just keep that, if I'm ever in a situation, just pull it out and be like, all right, I'm kidding. What situation would it be? Would I be the person on which side of the situation? You know what I mean? Sorry. I told you I didn't plan on fucking podcasting today. I wasn't mentally prepared. And I wasn't actually prepared either. But I think I'm doing all right. We'll finish up. We'll finish strong. It doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish. That's what I always say. I never say that. I was like some kid in a fucking YouTube video or something. I don't know. Some days I feel like I'm getting better at this, and then other days I'm just like, dude, stop. I'm sure you think that too. All right, let me just get to my little... I have a bunch more. Oh, yeah, so I talked about Blippi, but then we went to the indoor playground, for my daughter's birthday yesterday. And it's not the usual one we go to. The usual one we go to is a lot smaller. And the usual one we go to gets packed. This one was huge. So there was a few people in there, but it wasn't really packed. And we went closer to when they close. And so we went in there, and like, when we first got in there, it was pretty nice. It was like nice and cool. It was hot as fuck outside. So we're like, all right, we'll stay in here and like hang out. And then they turned the AC off like 10 minutes before they closed. And we're just sitting in there fucking. I'm like, there's no way this was not intentional. So we're just like sweating fucking. I'm like, we obviously as adult, like as the parents, we want the fuck. Like, I don't know if it was on a timer or what. But it's like as a parent, you want to get the fuck out of there. So like, you're fine with, hey, we close it 1:15. I mean, some parents who can't really control their kids, might be worried about that, but like my kids usually listen for the most part. I mean, obviously they have their moments, but like, yeah, you shut the AC off, you're fucking punishing the parents, not the kids. I mean, I guess you're punishing us for bringing them there so close to close, but it's like, what the fuck? What do you have to do? You know what I mean? You can just kick us out right when they close. We'll be done. But it was pretty crazy. Their fucking slides were so fast. And I don't know if they're fast when you go down as just a kid. But like with me, because you're so much heavier as an adult, you just fly through those things. So I went down with my youngest daughter and had her on my chest. And we went flying. I landed right on my ass. I mean, it's all padded and shit. But she had a blast on that. And I was like, fuck. I felt that through my whole body. Like, I just landed right on my ass. It's like, fuck. So that was pretty fucking... That shit hurt a little bit. But yeah. It was cool. It was fun. Not just because, like, we had just watched the episode of Blippi where a grown man hangs out in an indoor playground by himself. But... All right, that's the last time I want to talk about Blippi. All right, I'm just going to go through my things. We might finish up early just because I got to get some shit done. It's my daughter's birthday this weekend, too. I forgot to say that. So that's why I'm like, kind of like, you know what I mean? I have a ton of shit to do. My daughter just turned 4. It goes by so fast. It feels like 4 years. I'm not going to lie. It does. It feels like 4 years. I'm with her almost every day. I mean, I see her every day, obviously, but I'm with her like 8 hours by myself a day. And so, yeah, you do kind of see them gradually grow. But it does feel... It feels fast and not fast all at the same time. So we're having a party for her this weekend. Trying to think of something to make like on the grill. That's because I'm not doing burgers and shit. Because then you start doing burgers, people are like, I want it this way, and I want this, and I want that. But I think I'm just gonna do like, maybe like tacos, do different type of tacos, and make, just like get sides and just cut like cut up onions, cut everything up, get everything prepped the day before, and put it in the fridge, and then that way Sunday you just pull it all out, and then you do like a little taco bar. So I think that's what we're going to do. And then trying to think. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think that's the plan. Just do some taco bar. That's just gonna be good. So yeah, so then after the indoor playground, we went to there was a bar about 5 minutes from there, and they had like a little arcade. So they sat us in with the arcade, which was nice, because we could just kind of sit there and the kids could run and play, and then we could go over there and play too. So yeah, I got to play some cool video games. They had the Jurassic Park, and I got robbed of I did one of the claw machines, and I had Yoshi from Mario in the claw, fully in the claw, like no escape. It was like, yes. And then all of a sudden that motherfucker opened, the claw opened, it just fell out. I'm like, come on, that's bullshit. So, and it was so many credits just to get you to do it. It was like 8 credits. Like, they gave you $5 right off the bat, which was like, I don't even know how much, like maybe 20 credits. And so, like right off the bat, they're like getting you to hooked on it, basically. You know what I mean? I feel like, and then the numbers kept being uneven. Like I kept having like $2 credits left, and everything was 4. So it was fun though. You know what I mean? That's just such a dad thing to bitch about. It's like fucking having to pay $5 a pop every time at the re-up thing, because you're like, oh, this will be the last time I'm spending $5, and then your kid wants to play another game, and you still got time, so you're like, all right, fuck it, I want to play another game. No. All right, next topic to get the fuck out of here. Yeah, 4th of July. I mean, sales always are not great during 4th of July. I did go to that free thing that I talked about. I went and looked at this. I don't know if I talked about it or not, but the collection that lady had a couple weeks ago. I might not have. If I did, I apologize. But I went to, this lady had like an ad about vintage toys. I hit her up. I think I did talk about this. I went and looked at it. It smelled like cigarettes, but she had a huge collection. It was way out of my price range. And she was a little high anyway for like what people would pay when it smells like smoke. But I think she did sell them. They were very nice. But they had a huge collection, man. It was crazy. But yeah, it would have been a lot of work because everything for sure smelled like cigarettes. It was one of those houses you walk in, it smells like cigarettes, and there's oxygen tanks sitting around. And you're like, oh, okay. So yeah. But I went and picked up some old G.I. Joes from like the 70s with a bunch of accessories. They're in nice condition. So I have that box sitting on my table downstairs. I want to go through that one. But yeah, I've been trying to go through shit more quickly instead of just letting shit sit and linger. So my eBay's been a little bit better. My 90-day total's more than it's been in a while. Facebook's been all right. It's been steady. I did one sale the other day. It was like, I don't think they spoke much English, just based on the interactions that we had. And so they came to pick up, it was the people that came and pick up Bluetooth speaker, and it was a brand new speaker in the box. The box was sealed. So they came to get it, and I was asking $25. And so they come down the street, and I come down with it, and they rolled down the window, and just like, I handed them the speaker. They handed me $25, and they drove off. It was like such a sketchy, it felt like such a drug deal. I'm like, my neighbors probably think I'm selling drugs out of here for real. But yeah, that's another $25 just right to the house. Boom, boom, boom. And yeah. Okay, let's go back to the list. Oh yeah, so 4th of July sale. So that was Thursday. Somebody said they were having a sale on Thursday. I went and checked it out. It was whack. There was an antique fair thingy up the street that I should have gone to, but I don't really think I missed out on much. And then Friday, there's a couple sales on Friday, but nothing crazy. I got a Charizard to go in my collection at one of this. It was a sale, but the guy was a dealer, like a flea market dealer. So he kind of had everything priced kind of high. And But I did find a Charizard card. I didn't know what it was worth. He was asking 12 for it. I asked him if he would take 10. That's like, one I'll just grab and throw in my, because I have a collection of Charizards. Because I once pulled a Charizard card out of, it was a first edition Charizard. I pulled it. That was like, whenever Pokemon was first coming out. That was the only set that was out, I think, was that. Maybe the Fossil set was out at the time. But yeah, we went to 7-Eleven on Crescent Street in Brockton, Massachusetts, 02302. Maybe that was 02301. I forget which side of the track it was on. But anyway, yeah, it was a 7-Eleven. It's changed now. I don't know what it is now. But it was a 7-Eleven at the time, and I pulled it. And I remember it was a Charizard card. And I remember just screaming. I've probably told this before, but started screaming. It was like the scream you do in your dreams, like your nightmares, where you're just like, oh my God, I just got, oh my God, I just got Charizard. Oh my God, I just got. It was like that type of like, oh my God, I just got Charizard. Like, and I remember my friends all like huddled around me, and it was just like this fucking Indian guy behind the counter, like, what the fuck's wrong with these little fucking losers? And yeah, so now, but then I don't know what happened to that card. I had that card and got rid of all my Pokemon cards like a fucking retard, and now I have no idea what happened to them. So now I try to chase fucking those Pokemon cards, So anyway, let's keep it moving. Finish up here. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, that was on 4th of July. So then Saturday, I hit a few sales, and it was kind of shitty out. But there was like one sale that wasn't too far. And so I went, but then like there was no signs of life. But I saw another sign, so I followed that sign, and they were open. They had some cassettes, and it was all some good shit, like, classic rock metal, heavy metal, like not heavy metal, but like hair metal, like that type of shit. So it wasn't bad. And then after that, I went to like a couple more sales. It wasn't a great picking weekend. I got a cookie jar. It was a Keebler cookie jar. And then I got, what was it? It's a Keebler cookie jar, but it was like a special edition one. And then I got the cassettes. I'm trying to think of what else. It wasn't much. A couple belt buckles, maybe that was it. Oh, and then I got like a Halloween costume from Roly Polioli. It was a Disney store one, but it kind of smelled a little musty, so it's sitting outside right now. So, yeah, not a huge weekend of picking. But yeah, 4th of July weekend was fun. At this point, I think I'm just rambling, so I'm going to wrap it up because I got a bunch of shit to do. And hopefully I have a little bit more time going forward after this weekend. But yeah, it was just a lot of shit. Like the estate sale, my wife's got shit going on. We've got shit going on. So hopefully soon we don't have to keep going back and forth to Connecticut. And so, all right. Listen next time. And be good out there, you know what I mean? Don't be out there fucking sticking your dicks in vaginas and in and on things. All right? Things you're not supposed to. Just things you're supposed to.